As the year comes to a close, we find ourselves shedding things that no longer serve us, kind of like nature does with the change of seasons. It lets go of the old to make way for the new. Do you find yourself feeling the pull to let go of things that no longer serve you? Do you find yourself having an itch but maybe not understand what it is? Well, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 signs that you are ready to change your life and get ready for the best version of you for the year 2025. Hi, I am Bethel, and I love to share practical tips that assist people in creating a dream life that they desire of love and freedom and bliss. So, the year is coming to a close and you're feeling that pull. And you wake up one morning and the job that you've dreamt about having your whole life, that you went to school for, that you spent hours dreaming about and you've been working in for a very long time, no longer serves you. How about you're driving in the car and your favorite radio station or the streaming device that you listen to no longer satisfies you and you find yourself flipping through the channels, looking for something new to create a feeling inside of you that excites you. Maybe you no longer like to eat at the same old restaurants that have always been your favorites, and you find yourself flipping through Yelp trying to find a new restaurant that might create this feeling, that might satisfy this feeling inside of you that something isn't right and you're longing for a change, but you don't quite know what it is. As I was preparing for this, I thought about the old 90s movie Forrest Gump. And in that movie, Forrest had braces on his knees and couldn't walk very well. And one day he just started running and the braces came off, and everywhere he went, he was running. His love of running got him onto the football team. He got to go to the Vietnam War, and his running not only saved him, but helped save many of his fellow teammates. His love of running got him to see the president. And when there was a really bad thing that happened to him, he just started running. And people were curious as to why this guy was just running all over the nation. And someone asked him, "Why are you running?" And Forrest answers, "I just like running." And for no other reason, it was something that always brought him joy. And then as the movie progresses, you see him just one day stop running. He stops right in his tracks in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the street, turns around and goes home. He was done running. Are you done with something in your life? Is there something that brought you so much joy and pleasure your whole life, but you're now done? There is no reason that you cannot stop in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere, turn around and start a new course. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too smart. You're not too ignorant. You're not too thin. You're not too fat. You can change your life at any moment. And if you start feeling those restless feelings inside of you that used to bring you joy, but no longer do that, this is the time for you to stop. Journal about it. Look deep inside and find out why you are feeling the pull to do something else. The world may say, "Hey, you're just going through a phase in life. Just hold on. You're just depressed. Deal with it." I say that this is something we should all listen to. We definitely go inward and start journaling about. Our bodies may come across to the world as depressed because we are being called to do something higher and fulfill our greater need while trying to stay squeezed into a box that we've lived in our whole life. It may be scary to walk away from something you've loved your whole life, that you've worked your whole life to get. However, there's a famous quote by Neil Donald Walsh that says, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." Listen to those callings and take the necessary steps to create the life that you feel being called to inside of you. Another sign that you might be outgrowing your old life and that gets to shift so you can create the best version of you in 25 are misaligned relationships. Have you felt that you've called a really dear friend and every time you've talked to them, you have felt unfulfilled, maybe not listened to? You've been there for them, but when you needed the respect for them to be there for you, they were too busy. Do you have relationships in your life that no longer serve who you are? As you are realizing you're feeling the call to something more and you start branching out and trying new things, do you have people coming in your life trying to hold you back? And maybe this is a sign that you get to shift those dear relationships. I'm not saying stop talking to them, but maybe you get to take a look at the relationship and see if they are going the same path you're going, or if it is time to shift it into a different level of relationship. When I started my spiritual journey, I had a lot of people call me cuckoo, you're crazy. I had a lot of people try to hold me back, tell me I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, that I was delusional. I love this one. I'm going to hell. And I struggled for a while because I am very loyal. I love to have my family and the friends that I've known most of my life around me. But as you can imagine, I didn't like being called cuckoo. And I had been pushed down the rabbit hole of spiritual awakening and there was no way coming out. And so realigning some of those relationships were quite a challenge for me. Some people that were always dear, I did walk away from. Maybe on Christmas or their birthday, I'll send them a loving text, but they're not as part of my life as much as they used to be. I looked at other relationships, like some family members, because family is so incredibly important to me. And I knew that these family members were not supportive of what I was doing and the new ways I was believing. I got to shift that relationship. I still wanted them in my life. And I had to realize that to have them in my life, it had to look different ways. Maybe I didn't talk about my passions around them. Maybe I knew that it was just going to be crazy, but I did the energy work to shield myself before I went and visited with some of them. This was a choice that I willingly made because I still wanted them in my life. And this is me just sharing with you that your relationships can either go away or you can shift them knowingly to new ways. And the good thing is that as I did that, I started having a lot of people come in my space that did think and believe like I did, who supports me and loves me. And so as I was cleaning up these old relationships, I was just making way for deeper, more fulfilling, connected relationships. And it was a conscious choice how each of these relationships looked. So take a look at your relationships. Which ones need to be shifted? Which one needs to shift out of your life? So you can create the best, most fulfilling, connected relationships in 2025. Remember the quote from John Rohn, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Be picky about the people you let into your space if you truly want those deep connections that are just waiting there for you to have. And the third sign that you get to shift so you can be the most magical you in 2025 is letting go of the fear of change. Right now, when the whole world is working on shedding out the past, bringing the year to closure, and there is a feeling of excitement for the new year, this is a great time to use the collective energy around us to overcome those fears that might be holding you back. It might be scary, and it is because I have done it too, to leave a job that you have had your whole life and have always wanted. It might be scary to walk away from relationships that used to bring you such joy, but now no longer are going the same direction as you. Working through that fear and moving forward will create the space and the energy to allow magic to happen into your life. There is a quote by Mandy Hale that says, change is painful, but not as painful as staying where you are now. If you know that there's something better out there, if you know that there are these things in your life that are unfulfilling and you hold on to them, it will create an energy of lack, fear, of negativity that you are clinging to, and you will attract more negativity, fear, and lack this coming year. However, if you're able to release that and be open to the magic that 2025 might have for you. I love the mantra, I am open to this or something better. You may know what you want, but be open to something better. And hold on to that energy of excitement and hope and see what 2025 will bring to you. And when we are facing fear, we are also facing a lot of our deep shadows. I do have a video on doing shadow work that I will pin to the top if you want to take a look on at another time. The shadows that come up with this fear are a magical gift that will assist you in shedding off your old self and allowing space for what the universe has in store for you in 2025. The universe has this wonderful stuff waiting for you. It's here, it's now. It is just waiting for you to shed off the old stuff and vibrate to the same vibration so that you can receive it. And not knowing what that is does create a lot of fear within you. Take the time to journal. Take the time to ask your questions. Why am I afraid? What would it look like if I let go of this job? Who would I be without this relationship in my life? Why am I afraid of success? Why am I afraid of failure? Ask yourself those questions. And then when you get an answer, ask yourself another question. Don't be afraid to go as deep as you can. Be gentle on yourself as you go through this time and be loving and kind. And then as you start getting these answers, the best way to implement that I have found for me is just take one thing at a time. What is one thing I can change today that can get me to the change I desire? Could I meditate more? Could I do 5 minutes of affirmations as I fall asleep? Could I serve my neighbor? What is one thing that can be done to lead you to this change that you know is coming? If it is a new job, but you need to learn a different language, what is one thing that you can do to start learning that language? If you've always wanted to be an artist, but you haven't fine-tuned your skills, what class could you take? Doing that one thing and then one thing will add up over time. And then before you know it, you have a glorious life. Sometimes we can't do all the changes at once. It's too terrifying. And then we become paralyzed and do nothing at all. So while you're learning to be brave, take on one thing at a time. And as you realize how strong you are, take on another thing. Be brave to do that shadow work and to go deep and to love yourself. It is worth it because as you shed all of that negative energy that's been holding you back, you're going to see the universe providing magic for you in the year 2025. So my friends, are you experiencing any of these 3 things calling you to shed off your old life? Are you becoming unfulfilled with what's always brought you joy? Are your relationships misaligned and not serving you anymore? And do you have a little bit of fear holding you back? Comment below on which one of those three things might be your biggest obstacle so I can cheer you on and send you much love. And if this video resonates with you and you haven't already done so, please hit the like button, subscribe, because I have so many juicy tidbits to share with you for the rest of the year 2024 and so much magical ones for 2025. Until next time, my friends, I love you. I believe in you. Namaste.